This is Martin Giles of the Guildford Dragon News, and I'm with Tony Rooth, Councillor Tony Rooth from Guildford Borough Council, who has just announced his resignation from Residents for Guildford and Villages. Councillor Tony Rooth, thank you for giving your time to the Guildford Dragon today. And the first and obvious question is, why have you resigned from Residents for Guildford and Villages? You were a founder member.
Yes, I was involved from the very start. It's basically because R4GB is residents' a party or group, and I've had concerns about three issues. First of all, reaching out to residents, constructive consultation with residents and councillors, and thirdly, the North Street redevelopment, and in particular the bus services and the bus station.
Okay, so let's go through those. You started off, I think, by saying, what was your first one?
Reaching out to the residents.
Yes, so what needs to happen there, or what are you dissatisfied with?
Well, I'm concerned that the residents haven't been fully and widely consulted. Perhaps the example would be Shaping Guildford Future, GBC's own project. Very important. I support it very much, open up the riverside and so on. The initial consultation to the residents was good on the internet, but then it came down to 3 webinars of 1 hour each, chaired well by Peter Gordon, then 1 consultation webinar, which was about 30 people, all the usual stakeholders and consultants, no public, and a survey of 390 people, an opinion survey of that small size, and I don't think that's good enough.
Right, okay, and the second point?
The second point was about constructive consultation, and that really has the same thing, shaping Guildford's future. For example, £2 million have been spent by September this year on that project. The executive were then asked to spend another £3 million on that project, and I asked that that item be deferred to another meeting because it was over 400 pages long and so many issues in there that it needed more of a debate than at the fag end of a executive meeting which already had a big agenda. So it should have gone to another executive meeting or to the council in full. The other aspect of that is that I don't think that consultation with councillors has been very good, because I've proposed almost countless times that items, big items, should be brought to councillors after a presentation, a proper presentation by slides, graphs and so on, being given to them in advance of the meeting so that they can get a feel of what it's all about and what's likely to be given to them at a meeting. They have time to think about it in advance.
Now, one of your main concerns as well, I think you said, is the plans for the bus station.
It is.
So what is your issue there?
It's not really with the North Street regeneration. I think John Rigg has done a tremendous job with his experience.
Who is a party colleague?
He's a party colleague, absolutely. He's done a tremendous job with the regeneration of North Street from his experience with Savills, who incidentally are representing the developers on North Street. But the issue for me is the bus station and bus services. The bus station is an eyesore. It needs to be completely refurbished.
And you're a bus user, I believe.
I am a bus user,
Okay.
so I know the bus station. It needs refurbishment out of all recognition almost. What concerns me is the bus services, because the proposals from the developers are that the capacity of the bus station should be reduced by 30%. 30% of the stands will go, the size will go, and there is no, the entrance by the Friary will be closed up. Now that will mean that 50% of the bus services will be diverted along Onslow Street up to the York Road roundabout and then come back all the way to Woodbridge Road to enter at the same place as they leave.
Okay, so that's a very definite issue there, and you don't accept the practicality of the proposal.
I don't accept the practicality of the proposal. There are various arguments between Highways Authority, bus operators, bus users like me, and the developers on the other hand, I think with the council on board, as to whether that part of the scheme should be approved in the way it is proposed at the moment.
Okay, now it's quite commonplace, in fact you could say it's usual for people even within the same political party to have different views.
Yeah.
You could say it's healthy.
Yeah.
What has come to such a point that has made you think I've got to resign? Were personalities a factor?
Well, I think it's more a diversity of approach. I am an independent person. I have my own views. I work very hard to bring them up. I don't agree with other people's views. They don't agree with mine. That's fine. And I think, yes, there are sometimes personality differences about how people regard their roles in the council and how they put forward things. It's not necessarily what you do, it's the way that you do it.
Okay, and so are there specific examples of that, or?
Well, I think Councillor Bigmore, Joss, has been a very good leader. He's given a drive. I'm not sure he's particularly interested in consulting other people, but that's a personal opinion. John Rigg has done a tremendous job as the regeneration lead councillor, and I support much of what he's doing, opening up the riverside, pedestrianising all of North Street from Leapale Road to the new coffee shop, but it's the bus station aspect on that does trouble me.
I mean, from their point of view, I'm guessing, based on what they've said and what they've written, that they might say, look, without some of this drive, without some of this determination, we'll never get anything done.
Well, I think that's a fair point, and I think where we've got to now is a long way better than we've had in the past. And it's great to see the development coming forward. Okay, some people have problems with no affordable housing, I do, and with the height and size and scale and design of the development. But the fact is that developers won't build unless they make a profit, and you have to take that into account. As I say, I think you can go ahead with this scheme if there is recognition from the developers and the council that the bus station and the bus service changes are not worth it. The development can go ahead without those changes, and particularly to the extent that they are proposed.
Okay, now this council's got 6 months to run before
Yes.
the next election in May. Are you going to be standing there?
No, I've done 20 years, Martin. I think that's enough.
Okay, and what are you going to miss about working as a councillor?
Well, I think being involved with the community. I've always been a community man, an independent residence man, even though I was a Conservative some time ago. It's involvement in the community, taking people's views on board, helping them as much as I can, and really getting involved with people and with the communities that I've represented for nearly 20 years.
Councillors I've spoken to, especially those that have served as mayor, and I know you haven't, but they say it's given them access to parts of the borough, even though they're within a mile sometimes,
Yes.
that they've never seen before. Do you share that view?
I do share that view, and I suppose as a former leader and lead councillor for many years, yes, you get out and about. It's not just the ward that you represent, it's getting out to various places, whether in the town or the rural areas to do particular jobs for the community, for the borough as a whole.
Councillor Tony Rooth, thanks very much for your time and thank you for 20 years service.
Thank you, Martin. You're very kind.